Hey, this is Manni Chopra here at the first Titans event of 2025, and I'm here with none other than Jerry Alexander. Welcome, Jerry.
Hello, nice. Thank you for inviting me.
And thank you for coming. Well, I'm super excited because I know one of my top goals for this year is to do a commercial to commercial deal. So I'm going to be learning from Jerry's presentation what it's all about. And obviously, he beat me to 2 awards earlier on in November 2024.
That seems to be irksome for you.
No, I'm real calm about it, very cool about it. But good things, right? If you can't beat them, then you join them.
Indeed.
So that's what I'm trying to do right now.
I heard someone call it pure commercial the other night, as in doing commercial for commercial lettings.
Yeah.
Because most people in the industry think commercial is commercial to resi.
No, exactly. And I think we have loads of reasons why commercial to resi is much the same for the same. You're still going to have renters' rights bill.
Yep.
You're still going to be stuck in all of that. So this, I think, is
harder.
a pure hands-off strategy. If I think, well, there is work to do.
Can be. You have choices.
If you systemize it, then
Yes.
you know. So guys, so tell us, Jerry, what do you do? What did you win these awards for, and what is your plan for 2025?
Okay, so my main strategy is actually commercial multi-let. I call it CMO, similar to HMO. It's just multiple occupancy for many commercial clients. But our day-to-day is letting those spaces, but actually the real business is finding knackered buildings that were built for some other purpose, repurposing them for current modern needs, and then letting those spaces out and getting a good financial return. And the return can be significant. The project that won the awards is way up north in Dundee. It's a multi-let building. It has meeting rooms, venue space, private rooms, co-working, and there are 100, 150 members that use that building, and it is hands-on. So there is a lot of activity.
It's operational.
There. It's
as well.
Operational, yeah. But you don't have to do that. You can still do the same product and have somebody else operate it, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of margin on that other side of the fence. And I've been doing this for quite a long time now, and we've got a really good team. So we have a number of sites, and that team look after all these different sites. And so the margin on the operating side is significant.
So you've got the bricks and mortar business,
Yep.
and then you've got the operations side of the business.
Exactly, yes.
And do you always just buy dilapidated office buildings, that sort of things?
Yes, that's pretty much. We do have some industrial. We do
Yeah.
do some self-storage as well. Container storage, which is a great business. But the main thing is
You let it to storage, or you do your own storage?
We do the own storage, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like a metal box container. There's no heating, there's no plumbing, there's no electrics, right? If they don't pay, you change the locks. It's great. But anyway, back to the other business. Mainly it's office space, but we have some elements of retail and some elements of industrial as well.
Brilliant. Well, it sounds really exciting. And you've been doing it for how long?
That 20 years. We bought our first one 20 years ago. We started in resi, like a lot of people, buying, refurbing, renting
Converting
out,
to
refinancing, all that stuff. And then eventually I just got frustrated. It's like, how do I get a bigger deal here? So it ended up being commercial.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, it tends to be what? Co-working spaces, all of that? Or?
Yes, there's co-working. Not every building. Depends on the building layout, but some of our buildings have co-working. Some of them are just private offices.
So like a Regis, new Regis, a better Regis.
Yeah. Oh, of course it's better. Yeah.
Much better.
So, but you know, it depends on the market and it depends on the building. That will dictate really what you can do. And some markets have really high-end, quality serviced offices that it's actually very competitive. There's a lot of people in that space, so you want to try and pitch your product at more of an element. It's all about supply and demand, right? You're trying to find the offer that's going to suit what the local market's needing.
And how do you do that research? Because you already now know these areas, what are your areas and how much research do you need to do?
The number one thing for research is looking at competition. The thing about commercial property is the stuff that is advertised for sale and to let, which is what we all look at as investors, that is actually the bits that are not working. That's why they're for sale or not let. You want to be looking at the invisible stuff if you can find it. And really that's looking at competitors. What's their offer? Why are they full? Why are they empty? What is their contract type like? What's the size of the units they're letting? All those sorts of things are little levers that customers are concerned about, but a lot of people in the industry just talk about the square foot rate, but actually it's much more nuanced than that. So my biggest tip on finding out what area to look at or working about demand is just focusing on one small geographical area and really get to understand how it works.
Like a 5-mile radius?
So all of our buildings are within half an hour of where I live.
Right, 20-mile radius.
Yeah. So now, some could say that's because I live in the right area. I don't think so.
Which is
our
where?
product works everywhere. We're based on the east coast of Scotland.
Right.
So a little bit further away from here. But, I've got customers now, so we also help people do this, our strategy, and I've got customers all over the UK.
Yeah.
So it's not geographically sensitive.
Yeah.
It can be done anywhere.
It can be done anywhere, and there's a demand. But the thing is, did you find that in COVID, you must have lost a lot of money?
No. So our worst year for occupancy, now we're not massive, right? We're not a big barometer, but across our estate, the worst year was 2016. Right.
Kidding me, not 2020,
Go figure, right?
2020.
What does that mean? No. 2020, 21.
Brexit?
No, it was because actually the only thing I put it down to is we had 2 large customers move out, and that just brought occupancy down, and we took a bit of time to build it back up. There was the Scottish referendum in and around there too, right? Where basically nobody's doing anything, sitting on their hands. But in terms of 21, 22, those 2 years, and 23 were actually our best occupancy years ever.
Oh, and do you do short leases? What is the shortest lease that you do?
The shortest license we would do is you hiring a room for an hour.
Oh,
But in terms of renting,
yeah.
12 months would be our shortest. We have some, we just did one recently, 10 years. So it does depend on the...
2-man office is the smallest one?
Our smallest is 2.
2 people.
Maybe 1. But we do, the larger spaces are the ones you tend to maybe lease. Because that customer would maybe want a little bit more security in how much they're going to have to pay.
And how do you know how many of 1 or 2 people to do, how many of 10, or do you wait for people to come to you and then you configure it?
If you can, you phase your development. So you'll build out what you think the market wants. Yeah, exactly. If you're lucky enough to be able to do that, or one where there's an entrance that will allow you to get customers in without disturbing them when you're doing the rest.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to set expectations. But anyway, if you can do that, then you can start responding to what customers actually are asking for. I try and build in as much flexibility into the structure. If you can get an open plan, floor plate's great because then you can do walls where you want. If it's an already existing cellular building, that's more difficult to do that, and sometimes you have to deal with what you've got.
Minimum building size?
For us, it's 10,000 square feet. I would say now we have moved beyond that, but for people getting started, you could do it with. So we've had customers from a consultancy point of view, who have done they've taken 1 unit and split it into 2. That's it, right? And it cost them less than £100,000. You can start at any level and work your way up. In terms of having a team running it, then 10,000 square feet is kind of the minimum.
And when you say consultancy, do you offer consultancy to people?
Yeah, to help people get started in commercial.
So if somebody like me thinks, okay, I'm looking to do this
I
year.
like the strategy. Can somebody hold my hand? That's what we do, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, that's amazing. So how do people get in touch with you?
So I'm on Instagram. It's jerryalexander.commercial. Hope I got that right. I'm on LinkedIn. And of course, we have a podcast.
Yes.
So if you type
Would you tell us
Jerry
about your
Alexander into any podcast engine, it will probably come up. The podcast is called Commercial Property Investor Podcast.
Brilliant. Well, listen, we are super excited for your talk, and thank you so much for coming down. It's a long way down, but hopefully you will be disappointed. You'll meet some nice, interesting people here.
I already understand this is a great event, right? It's a big room. There's a lot of really interesting people and very mixed crowd.
Brilliant. Well, listen, guys, I'm afraid you missed Jerry's talk, but we've got the next one on Thursday, the 13th of February. Do look at our website, teamtitans.co.uk. We've got another set of great speakers coming along. I hope to see you then. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.